Hey guys, welcome back to the Vid-Bits. It's Brian here, and we're doing another game for Game of Day May. We're on day 6, and we're doing Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I love this game. It's a classic, and it never gets old. We're gonna just go through and have a nice casual playthrough. I'm going to probably do the quickest route today. I'm sure at some point in time in the channel we'll go ahead and do a full playthrough. Try to do all exits, but right now I'm just going to do a quick deal here. Just trying to have a fun casual playthrough today. It's a nice Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Hope that you guys are enjoying your weekend. You know, if you're doing any game hunting or anything this weekend, I hope you get some good finds. One of the things about this game that I kind of wish would have stuck around was they had it subtitled as Super Mario 4, which I think is awesome. A lot of the Japanese promotions and stuff still have it labeled in the upper right of the graphics as Super Mario World, as Super Mario 4. They really just wanted to differentiate this from the rest of the series and let you know, like, you know, that there's a whole world of boards to explore as opposed to, you know, the size and scope of Mario 3, even though Mario 3 was nothing to shake a stick at as far as, like, how large the game was in terms of size. I mean, you have a game like Super Mario Brothers, which is only 32 boards, and then you have Mario 2, which is comprised, I believe, of 20 boards, and then you have a game like Mario 3, which is, you know, way more. I can't even tell you the exact amount of stages that are actually on that. If I was going for a true speed run, I would not do the Yellow Switch Palace. I'm just doing it because, like I said, it's a casual playthrough, and I felt like doing it. I love that there's, you know, still the power of flight in this game. You also have the added advantage of Yoshi, which, you know, that's a great buffer for younger fans because he pretty much essentially functions as an extra hit. So you can get, you know, hit by an enemy, and then instead of losing any of your power-ups, you just lose your Yoshi, and then it's still even re-attainable. So the Switch Palaces themselves was said to be designed as a way to challenge players that go through this game and allow them to kind of curate the difficulty for themselves. Whether or not you want the game to be more difficult is whether or not you activate Switch Palaces. So you could go through the game and not activate them, and there's actually some stages that are going to be a lot more difficult for you because you don't have the added advantage of extra platforms in the tricky spots to allow you to, you know, make those jumps out into nowhere. Like there, like I would have probably fell in that little pit there had those 2 yellow question mark blocks not been there. And they were only there because I hit the Switch Palace, so. Alrighty. Moving right along. I remember when Super Mario World came out, just like how amazed I was by the layering and stuff, like the sound. Obviously, you have the great graphical improvement with the double up on the bits, but the sound channel on the Super Nintendo is amazing. The chipset was actually for the sound was actually developed by Sony. I know that sounds surprising, but you know, they were friends with Nintendo at one point. I mean, they were supposed to co-develop the Sony Super Nintendo. It was like would have been a PlayStation Super Nintendo hybrid, but unfortunately for Sony, Nintendo kind of got cold feet, and they wanted to have a partner that they could have a little bit more control over the media, so they partnered with Philips instead, which we obviously know what horrible stuff was generated out of that. The terrible trilogy of Zelda games and a mediocre Mario platformer. And then Sony went on to bet on themselves and create the juggernaut known as the Sony PlayStation, and the rest is history. I love in this ROM also there's an extra version of this ROM where if you're playing it on the Super Mario All-Stars Super Mario World combo card and you happen to be a fan of Luigi, you won't get the palette swapped Mario sprite as your Luigi. You'll actually get a Luigi sprite, which is more in line with how he's been presented. You know, a little bit lankier, a little bit taller. You know, with also I believe his physics are a little bit different. I haven't played it too much, but it's pretty neat. Especially for people that were just like, oh, my Luigi's just a palette swapped Mario, which is pretty much all it had been until that point, so it's not like it was irregular for that to be the case. The pacing in this game is just great too. I mean, you have the first world where it's just kind of letting you see the toolbox of all the different ways that Mario can move and spin around and whatnot. And then you have the next stage, which puts you right into the cape. I know I made that look super easy, but he's a super pushover, so not that difficult. When you're doing the fastest route, he's the only opposition between you and Bowser, so... Get the first castle out of the way. Going up here into the Donut Plains. Probably jump off the Yoshi. Alright, so we can get this first cape here. And then we move him off the screen. And then we come back. And then we come back. And he comes back. And get it again. And... I love eating those things. It's so cool. Ooh. Oof. There he went. Let's see if I can get it. Oh. Wow. That was my mistake. Come back off the screen, come back. He should come back. There he is. Again, as long as you don't kill him, you should be good. I'm gonna come over here. Bump up this guy. Oh, I did not need to get that. Ah, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. Now I gotta see if I can come back here and salvage some sort of cape situation, which is gonna be a little bit further back on the course. Man. Again, luckily this is a casual romp, but I'm not trying to speedrun this game. I did not mean to kill him. It happened anyways. It's fine, we move back here. Nice. That was neat. I'll take it. Anyways, that was what my goal was anyways. Anyways. I'm going to drop in here and just get me another power-up real quick. Whenever you are needing to do power-up farming, you can jump into a stage that you've previously defeated and hit start and select after you've done whatever you need to do there, and it will just bump you right out. It's funny because on the fact that this is a fastest route to Bowser, and you do a significant amount of water boards. Alright, Rip Van Fish here. Love that guy. No, I don't. Such an aggressive enemy. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Alright. Alright, and there we go. That exits out the way. We're gonna go to the ghost house. Oh gosh, man, I could feel it when I ran up on that. It's all good. You know, it's no fun when you just do it perfectly every time anyways, and I'm not saying I do, but there's a little bit of variance in a run, and it makes it interesting, especially, you know, you have it in your head how it's gonna go. But I'm also trying to pepper in some factoids when I can and stuff like that. I love the ghost house challenges. They're, you know, it's they decided to, you know, kind of build on something that they did in Mario 1, whereas there's a couple of the Bowser castles where there's a maze type approach to it, and you have to really know how to navigate it, and if you don't, then you won't be able to finish it. Why did he keep going? It probably was because I was dropped down so low. That's crazy. That was neat. I love stuff like that, and he's giving you a thumbs up. Look at this little thumbs up going on there. Pretty cool. Moving right along. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of power-up grinding real quick. That way I don't have to do it in the next stage. Real simply go in here and get me a... Oh, I shouldn't have killed him. That's... Again, not worried about it because it's not a speedrun by any means, but in a speedrun scenario, there's so many things that would have happened that I would have already done a reset because of it. Alright, so we're going to Star Road. First stop. Jump over that shroom. And this one's pretty simple. You just drop down to the far right. If you mess around here, you can see you can get Mario to zip through it a little bit if you get in between a couple of those. But the crazy thing about that is if you do it the wrong way, which there is really no rhyme or reason to it, I don't believe, when you get too close to a wall, he'll just get pinched into a wall and just get smushed. Alright, we're going to take our... We should have... If you were on a speed run, you wouldn't have given him the star to get big. You would have picked him up as a baby, because then you move the same as if you're carrying an item, and that way you can move exponentially faster through this level. And then also, if you hit the star physically so that you don't die, that next block that I just passed will be a star as well, and you can daisy chain the stars together to just pretty much star through this level. And also rack up a decent amount of 1-ups when you're hitting the enemies after you've hit, you know, 5 or 6, you'll start accruing 1-ups for those. And the secret is just pretty much to drop down here. By Rip Van Fish. We're going to go all the way under here to the end and pick up the key. Alrighty. Moving right along. Wow, that's so cool. I mean, regardless of whether or not I'm doing a speedrun route on this, I'm seeing some neat stuff. It's just pretty cool that you guys get to see it too, and I get to capture it for prosperity. And there we go. Just moving right along. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, trying to debate what we're going to do now, so probably just going to try to finish the board normally. That was cool. Probably going to finish the board normally, because I need to be able to get back and get me another blue Yoshi. Wow. Okay. Moving right along. Alrighty. Yeah, I need to be under there. I'm not gonna be able to get under there without that Yoshi, because I didn't do any of the Star Road stuff. Or not the Star Road stuff, but the other P-Switch stuff. Switch Palaces, which basically makes a bridge that underneath there that if you don't use Yoshi, you can use this bridge to get there. Oh man, and I'm gonna trigger a bonus game. That's alright, I can be able to show you a little bit about the bonus game trickery that you can do if you do find yourself in the bonus game. I like to line up to just about here where my head is in the middle of this diamond row here, and what you're going to do is you're going to do a spin jump, and you're going to keep spin jumping and hitting every block in a row. And when you do, and if you don't miss a block and you continuously do it at a proper cadence, you should find that they all line up to be the same thing. And if you're lucky enough to actually get the one that's in the middle, then you'll get the same thing for everything. So we do bam, 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 bam. So did you see how it worked out? Where they all lined up to be stars when I was hitting it in a row, but because I stopped, it stopped. But if you hit every one and you don't stop and you hit it at exactly the same intervals, it'll all be the same item. Alright, so it doubles us back because we finished it normally. The good thing about this is when you get yourself a, that's not what I meant to do. When you get yourself another Yoshi here, it's 2 seconds because you can just, have him eat the star and exit the stage. So it's a quick recovery on a casual playthrough for sure, but it's definitely the end of a speed run. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more careful. The thing is, like, I mainly am trying to get to a blue shell, because a blue shell is the safe one. Because when you spit it out, it still stays a blue shell. If it's anything else, then it'll turn into whatever the power-up is. So in the case of a yellow shell, not a yellow shell, but a multicolored shell. I'm sorry, yeah, I did mean a yellow shell. It will do stomping, Yoshi will stomp. Multicolored shell obviously does all three, which is the flying, the stomping, and the firepower, and then the red does just fire. So, alright, and at this point, Yoshi doesn't really get to come with me. I mean, he can, but he doesn't need to, because I'm not going to be able to do anything else with him. It gets us here. And we're now at the Valley of the Bowsers, front door at the castle. Now, you can pick whichever route that you want. Some routes are easier than others. This is not the one I meant to go to. Because it's not the easiest at all. But you get a little bit of freedom here. That's death time. Well, I didn't say it was going to be a no death run. Alright, so we're going to go back here. We're going to try this again. People have their own preferred routes. This is not the one I meant to go to either. Man, just having bad luck today on this. I don't also, with these videos, a lot of this I just go through on instinct and how I feel when I play the game myself. I really don't do a lot of research to, you know, it's just based on how I did it, you know. I think 8 is the charging chucks. Yeah. Alright, again, since I'm not trying to speedrun, this will be fine. You just let him come to you and... Tail, or Cape Merc, everybody. You should be dead. Alright. And now we find ourselves here. I'm gonna hit this awesome light. I remember seeing that graphical effect when I got here the first time as a kid. And, oh, you're not gonna let me jump over that? Okay, I'll just jump over that then. Why is that being so difficult today? This little disco light, and I thought, man, that's so cool. And that's probably like the garbage effects if you think about it. Like, they probably like, oh man, when we're transitioning this or that, this crazy strobe effect happens, and it really wouldn't be like something they could put in a game, like, you know, full on per se. Also, like that little lava as he's sinking down there, so cool. But like, they probably couldn't put that in a full part of a screen per se, but they were like, well, we can use this as a neat little attraction. I mean, and this is also in this game just coming out. They're like trying to show you all these different things that the Super Nintendo can do. And here we are. We're gonna fight Bowser in one of my favorite fights. I love this fight. I love the vehicle. I love the variants here. And if you think about it, this is only the second time you're facing him, and it's already something so. I'm sorry, the third time you're facing him, and it's already something so different each time. You know, they have the you know, just the regular bridge thing in the first one, and then kind of like its evolved form in 3. But they do a good job in this game as a whole. Like, here's a little bit of demonstration of what Mode 7 can do, you know, and I just remember just being so at awe with all the little tricks every time I saw something else. And again, not to undersell the amazing music, you know, what the music does for this game, especially like when you have Yoshi, how it, when you have Yoshi and you jump on him, how it adds an extra layer of sound to the tracks and the levels and stuff. It's just awesome. These bowling balls, though, it's just like, it's crazy. I never knew what to expect after this type of fight. I'm like, okay, this is what the Super Nintendo is all about. You don't know what's coming next, and it had a lot of power to spare. Alright, easy peasy so far. And again, this last phase was just super aggro phase, and hopefully can save Princess Peach. Alright. This was just so intimidating for me. I remember when I was, just to put into perspective, I was like 10 when this came out, and it just, I wasn't sure, you know, if I was ever going to beat this game. Uh-oh. And my favorite part now is to try to line it up so that me and the princess land in the middle and have a perfectly matched moment. It's going to be a little bit off, it looks like. Nope, there we are. Little Mario blushing. It seems like I almost always beat this game small. Well, Mario's adventure is over. Mario 4 is in the books. The 6th game in Game-A-Day May is concluded, and we're going to head into Game 7 tomorrow. I'm definitely going to let this play out, you know, so you can see the end and everything, in case you've never been able to beat this game and you've been watching this so that you can vicariously live through the Vid-Bits and, you know, beat Mario 4 as well. Get to see the cast of ensemble characters coming up here that we didn't have a chance to fight many of, but it's pretty funny. And also a lot of the Yoshi eggs that we didn't see, which is, we still got those. They're there. But we have a whole bunch of games planned for Game of Day May. Just a little bit of peppering in some of the titles that you may see. We're going to possibly do some things that you may not expect. I'm kind of toying with doing The Legend of Zelda. Even possibly doing A Link to the Past, but maybe not exactly the way that you would expect me to do that. We're definitely going to hit some Mega Man up. I plan on probably doing Mega Man 1 tomorrow. A little bit of spoiler for Game of Day May Game 7. I believe we'll probably be doing Mega Man 1 tomorrow and starting that series. I plan to complete... the Vid-Bits will complete the first 6 Mega Man games throughout this month, so you get to look forward to those. You know, we're going to throw it around, possibly do some indie titles as well for some of the newer consoles. It may not all be classic stuff, but it is a daunting task to try to complete a video game in a day, every day, for a month. So we're going to pace ourselves, but we're going to try to throw some challenges in there as well. On any of these Game of Day videos, if you are watching them, if you want to comment games that you think are good candidates for that, we would love to hear them. We appreciate your feedback and all the times that you guys interact with each other. It's definitely not taken for granted, because your feedback helps us provide better content for you and hone it in towards things that you like to see more than just things that we like to provide. But we're under the sense that if you're here, that we're on the same, you know, on the same jive there. If you know anybody that has tried to do something like this, shout it out. I'd love to see what they, how they tried to handle a task as beating a game a day. I know there's a lot of great speedrunners out there that beat a lot of games, you know, and they have different channels associated with that, but this was something that we thought would be a neat project, and, you know, we didn't take it lightly, but we picked a month that has 31 days, so 31 games, you know. It's going to be amazing to have this catalog by the time it's all said and done. As always, if you enjoy any of our content, please you know, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share, you know, get some people involved. The bigger the community, the better it is for us, because we get excited to see what you guys want to see coming up. We always love to do stuff like beat classic video games, give you content that has to do with classic video games, but again, you know, we're not against trying new things. This is definitely a new thing for us. So, I'm just rambling at this point, trying to get through this very, very long ending. I think it'd be neat if I could get an RPG in the bag here. So if there's any type of suggestion you have maybe for an RPG that you think that can be beaten in a day, please drop that in the comments. Also, look out for the fact that there will be an announcement pertaining to the contest that for our 1-year anniversary. I know that we're a little bit past that, but we hope that you stick with us for that. We do appreciate you. We're coming up on 1,500 subs in our first year, and we're so thankful for all of that. So, once again, this is Brian from the Vid-Bits, and we really appreciate everything that you guys have done for us as a community and this first full year, and we look forward to you checking in to Game of Day May Day 7 tomorrow, and thank you very much. Peace.